Hey everybody, I'm Thomas McDowell and welcome back to another segment of Pharm To Home. I'm here with Debbie Mercello, the CEO and founder of the Happier Home franchise. And if you haven't seen our show yet, and I want to introduce myself, Thomas McDowell. I'm the owner of Rocky Mount Medical Park Pharmacy in the Boyce Willis Clinic, and also a new owner of Happier at Home of Eastern North Carolina. We're the first Happier at Home franchise here in North Carolina, and we provide home care, personal care, companion care, as well as medication management solutions. And we're so thrilled to have Debbie down from New York. She came to help us celebrate Happier Home's grand opening and ribbon cutting yesterday at Station Square. We had a wonderful turnout, and we're so excited to be here talking a little bit more about Happier Home and what we're going to be offering to the community. So welcome, Debbie.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here.
We're so happy to have you here, and despite the scorching heat, which cooled off a little bit last night with a little rain, but we're so happy to have you here. And I wanted to start off by just asking if you would tell us a little bit about the background of Happier Home and how it started for you.
Okay, I'd be happy to. So I am a registered nurse and always worked in the emergency department, really helped people on the front lines. And at about 2006, 2007, my mother was diagnosed with primary brain cancer, and she was 64, so very young. And at that time, I also was running a legal nurse consulting firm or business, but I wasn't finding it very rewarding because I didn't feel that I was personally helping people. So I had always thought about home care. And as a matter of fact, I, in my previous career, also was a director of nursing for a licensed home care agency and also a vice president of a very large continuum of care retirement community, which is just independent living, assisted living, skilled nursing, all in one. So I was familiar with helping seniors and really enjoyed that aspect. But when my mother was diagnosed with brain cancer, we had people coming into the home, helping out, and they were CNAs. And the agency I was using was well known in our area in Rochester, New York. And unfortunately, we had a horrible experience. They were supposed to be there for just 2 hours a day at 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. And when they would come, it would either be a different person every time, or it would be that they didn't show up on time or showed up at 4 p.m. So it was really difficult when you don't have control over the cancer, you don't have control over what's going on with the health of your loved one, and then having to kind of be pushed along in the healthcare system and not have a say in what goes on. So it was very frustrating for my family. It was frustrating for my father, who was with her 24 hours a day, really trying to care for her, and couldn't take care of himself because he could not plan on that time that they were going to be there. So before my mother passed, I decided I was going to start a home care company and made sure that all of the bad things that we experienced, we did not allow our clients or patients to experience. So we focus on making sure we have the same person coming back to the home to care for our clients or patients all of the time. So that's continuity in care, making sure that we work with the family on a schedule that's acceptable to them and something that they feel would be beneficial for their loved one. And we make sure that we are consistent with that schedule too. So this helps the family and the patient be able to plan things, the family caregivers be able to get out of the house and take care of themselves. And it also helps our caregiver retention because they develop a great relationship with the patient themselves. The caregiver can anticipate the needs of the patient because they get to know each other. So we have a really great formula with our business. It works so well that about 6 years ago, I decided that I'd like to share this business model in a franchise model across the country. So we've been expanding across the country, and I'm so excited that you started your Happier at Home location here.
Absolutely, and so Debbie touched on some of the reasons why Happier Home is different, and when I first met Debbie, I was really excited about the model and just saw a need for our community and our pharmacy patients. So I own 2 pharmacies in the area, Medical Park Pharmacy and McDowell's Pharmacy in Scotland Neck, and I would consistently see some of these patients that we were really helping them on the medication management side, but they still needed a little bit of extra help in the home, whether it was just medication reminders or the helping with bathing, toileting, grooming, positioning, or even just companionship, transportation, meal prep. Those are the services that our caregivers can offer. And our goal is to help our patients age independently and safely in the home. And we think we can do that better than anyone else through our home care side and our medication management solutions, which are our adherence packaging. We do pill packaging where we sort meds by date and time, deliver them for free to the home, and we deliver through 6 counties. So those 2 pieces together really allow our clients to age in place, and most folks do want to age in their home. There's tons of great facilities and resources in the area, but most clients would prefer to be at home as long as possible, and if there is a need for a higher level of care, then they can comfortably make that choice, but we want to allow folks to have the independence that they want to have as long as possible. And so that's how we differentiate ourselves from other companies, and you're going to get quality care, you're going to get consistency, and we fully vet our caregivers so that families don't have to worry about who's coming into their home. And so we're doing all that work for you, and you have the peace of mind knowing that your loved one or yourself is well taken care of. So thank you for that information, Debbie. And we're up to 18 franchises,
Yes.
right, across the United States. And the
Yes.
beauty of that model is we have some tremendous support from Debbie and her team, but we also have the benefit of being local and independently owned to have that personal touch because of the wonderful relationships we have in the community. So Happier Home of Eastern North Carolina is serving Nash, Wilson, Edgecombe, Halifax, and the surrounding counties. So we have caregivers ready and waiting to come out and help you. So we're looking forward to serving our community. And I did want to ask you, Debbie, just to provide some much needed education and information for our listeners that they might not have heard before. Tell us, what are some questions that consumers should be asking of home care companies as they're looking into that for either themselves or their loved one?
So I think it's great that you are able to bring this to people on this show, because a lot of people don't know that this sort of help is available and don't explore this until there's a crisis situation. So being able to be prepared and know what to ask and what to look for in a home care company is very important. So some of the things that I think are really imperative to learn about a company that you may engage with are about the caregivers. Ask if those caregivers are vetted with background checks and drug screening. Ask what kind of training that they're given as well. As far as the company, you should know whether or not that company is licensed. In North Carolina, it's important to have that license to be able to provide those hands-on care services, the activities of daily living, and Thomas's company, Happier at Home, is licensed. So if you have a company that just starts up and can't answer those questions, it's a red flag. So making sure that it's a legitimate company. And, I will also say, in comparison to a private caregiver that may come in your home. That private caregiver is one person and doesn't have insurance, whether it's liability insurance and bonding, whereas the employees of Thomas are actual employees. He files their taxes. He makes sure that they're all insured and bonded. So when you are engaging with a company as opposed to a private caregiver, you know that they're supervised and vetted. Additionally, that they would have backup if they have to have vacation or sick call. We always try to have the same person as backup as well, so you'll get to know that person. But it's really important to understand also what types of services they provide. Is it a company that will only provide companion care services, which is very much needed, and those would be things like the light housekeeping, more sitter services, and if you're looking at the personal care services, that those services would include more hands-on care. If you need some help with hygiene or incontinence care, if you have a loved one that's on hospice, we can help them as well, which is really important. So you could focus on your loved one, and then you have us as a support to be able to help them and focus on all of their personal needs. But I think those are some of the most important questions.
Yeah. Thank you, Debbie. And that reminds me of a great point you made on the hospice side. So, at end of life, a lot of patients are engaging with hospice to provide that end of life support, or also at other times they might utilize home health care companies. And so we want to let everybody know that most of the time hospice companies and home health companies, their bread and butter is not personal care and caregiving and companion care. They have nurses that are providing skilled nursing care or speech or OT or PT, and hospice, they have nurses that go out and provide that hospice-specific care. But our services at Happier Home can really supplement, overlap, or be in addition to hospice and home health. And they usually do not want to or have the bandwidth to partake in those level of services, and so they love having some support from a caregiver, because a lot of times a family member just can't be there 24/7, or they. Right. And one other piece that we can provide is just a respite situation where a family member is the primary caregiver and they just need a vacation or a break, or they need to catch up on work. Our caregiver can go out just for a week or 2 weeks and provide that respite, help the client, and give a break to the caregiver, because being a primary caregiver and trying to take care of yourself and work and so forth can be really challenging for family. I'm sure you've seen that with family members, and some of your experiences before you started Happier Home really opened your eyes to how can we do this better.
Right.
And when you have an experience like that with a family member, it really brings it to another level of this should be different, and healthcare should be different. It should be personal, and it should be compassionate. And so that's one of what we really pride ourselves on is that compassionate one-on-one senior care that you get with Happier Home. And I've mentioned this before, but really the medication management solutions that we can provide along with the home care is a huge game changer. We've seen the difference that makes just specifically on the medication management side with our MACPAC adherence packaging program. And when you tie that in, you're really relieving that medication burden from the client and from the family. The family, they're usually the ones that are filling up that pill box every Sunday.
Yes.
Which can take, depending on how many meds they have, in hours trying to sort it out. We can do all of that for you. We have a pharmacy team reviewing your medications, and managing those medications effectively can be a big preventative measure in keeping clients out of the hospital and preventing unnecessary nursing home admissions,
Yes.
which is, it all comes back to our goal of helping our clients age independently and safely is the key thing at home. And so we're really excited to be in the community. If you're looking to reach us at Happier at Home of Eastern North Carolina, our website is happieratHome.com. You can find the Eastern North Carolina location. You can contact us through the website. And our phone number is 252-443-7419. Again, that's 252-443-7419. We have an office at Station Square, and we're really excited to be out in the community and ready to serve folks. And we've gotten a great start. We have a great team. Connie Cooper is our business manager, and so if you call us, you'll get a friendly voice on the other end of the line, and she's so helpful and has been wonderful for our team. We have 2 registered nurses on staff, and we have a great bench of caregivers that are compassionate and ready to help with tons of experience. Like Debbie mentioned, they go through a criminal background check, a drug screening, multiple interviews, and they all are insured and bonded so that you know that you're getting good quality. And that's what separates us from just hiring somebody down the street. We're doing the scheduling, we're doing the training, we're doing all of the upfront measures to make sure that it's a great experience for the family. So couldn't be more thrilled. And Debbie, any last words before we wrap up?
I just know that you are bringing something great to the community, and no better person and company to do it than yourself and McDowell's Pharmacy, because I've met your family, your father, and heard the legacy of your grandfather starting your pharmacy, and I'm getting chills right now because I'm very impressed, and I know that you are passionate and compassionate with the care of your community. So I'm so excited to have you start our Happier at Home location down here.
Well, thank you, Debbie, and we appreciate you being on with us today, and we're looking forward to serving the community. So reach out if we can help you with home care or medication management, and we hope everyone has a wonderful day.
Thank you.